Welcome into another episode of Betting the Pitch. I'm your host, the real_G Warner. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. If you hit the subscribe button, I'd love you forever. If you're on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and I will read one out end of the podcast today, as well as go through the top 5 European leagues. We actually have normal schedules. Finally, no cup matches, no weeks off, no weird things, deaths of queens. Seems like everything's going to go smoothly. So we're going to make some money this weekend. Going through England, then Spain, Italy, Germany, and France. Everything, just going to find a best bet from each of the countries and then come up with an ultimate best bet, which will also come end of show. So stick around. You will be found out if you skip to the end just for the best bets, the ultimate best bet. But I also don't blame you because it'll be on Instagram. So go ahead and check me out there. All lines quoted in this podcast are courtesy of betonline.ag, my favorite place to get my bets down early. Reduced juice is offered on almost every game you want to bet right up until game time. Please follow the link found in the podcast description to fund your account and use the promo code GW50 to receive a 50% match bonus up to $1,000. So now you have some extra money. Let's go right into the English Premier League. We do have a match today on Friday. Chelsea hosting Fulham, West London derby, as they say. Currently, it looks like the line is fluctuating between Fulham getting 3/4 of the goal and getting a full goal. That's the way that I lean. Over-under is 2.5, juice to the over. Chelsea are bringing in, so many new bodies. The weird stuff about Aubameyang not being on the Champions League roster or being taken off of it to put in new players like Enzo, who I think will start this today. Crazy stuff going on. Takes a long time in soccer for teams to gel. Fulham will give some opportunities, certainly playing with an open pitch, but they're going to go try to win this game. And I like Fulham. I like that +1. I would pay the extra juice for a +1 rather than taking the odds on 3/4 of a goal. Next, we'll go to Saturday morning. Everton host Arsenal in what should be a massacre. Can't say I'm into that one. I got to say maybe 6:30 will come a little bit too early for me, and I don't have to wake up for it tomorrow. Currently, Everton a 1.25 goal underdog at home. Over/under is 2.5, and Arsenal simply aren't a team I'm trying to fade right now. I think they are strong. I think they're talented, and Everton just fired Frank Lampard finally, but what's the new guy going to do, or new lady, maybe new person? Doubt anything's going to happen there. I'm not backing Everton. They have no defense, no offense. They have no offense, basically. Brentford then hosts Southampton in an onslaught of matches at the 9 a.m. Central Time window. What's up from Dallas? We are finally thawing out. I keep having ice fall off my roof right onto my balcony, but whatever. Brentford currently a 0.5 goal favorite at home to Southampton. Over/under is 2.5, and Brentford have been scoring a ton of goals, so I don't think you can play under here. Southampton are not a team I want to back. Only getting 0.5 goal is way too short for a team that they probably should lose to. And coming off the cup play midweek as well. Aston Villa then hosts Leicester. Villa a 0.5 goal favorite at home. Over/under is 2.5. This one feels a little bit small for Leicester, just based on how they played the season, holding on to Yuri Tielemans through the transfer window because they know they need him to try to stay in the league. That's tough. I don't want to back Leicester at all. I don't really do favorites, as most of y'all know, and I don't know that I trust the Leicester defense enough to play under here either. Wolves and host Liverpool, calling Wolves a 0.5 goal underdog at home, nearly even money. Probably will get there by the time this one kicks off. Over/under is 2.75. This match was just played in the FA Cup and then replayed a few weeks ago. All of this was happening in the last couple of weeks. Wolves, I thought, outplayed Liverpool, had one kind of mistake, goalkeeping error from Jose Sa, and a goal from Harvey Elliott, but then did everything they could to draw and push the match to extra time, but it didn't happen. I don't know that there's necessarily any revenge factor here, but I do think that Wolves can give Liverpool a really tough match. I don't think Liverpool are anywhere near as good as we once saw them. This feels like the season after COVID where they were just so banged up. I don't know if they have that same excuse list now, but they're just not as good. And road favorites, I'm looking to be against them. Next, we'll move to Manchester United hosting Crystal Palace. Just saw this match, I feel like, and Crystal Palace got a late draw. I'm not sure you could argue it was deserved, but didn't look like it to me. Manchester United currently a 1.25 goal favorite. Over/under is 2.5. I'm not a believer in Crystal Palace to score goals. I think on the road they would be an under only for me. But unfortunately, once they let that first goal in, then it gets a lot worse. And Manchester United at home likely will get onto their counterattacking races. And that's not really a good setup for Crystal Palace. So lean to under 2.5 if I had to pick something on that one. Brighton hosts Bournemouth, currently Brighton a 1.5 goal favorite. Monstrous number for that club. Over under is 2.75. Maybe Graham Potter wishes he stayed. Probably not because he's cashing checks. But ultimately, I don't trust the Bournemouth team. I feel like they've been better on corner kicks lately, which is important because they were the worst in the league on them. And I think if anything, I lean to under 2.75, but I think I want that full 3, and I don't have that yet. Newcastle then hosts West Ham the nightcap on Saturday. Newcastle a 3/4 goal favorite with all the juice likely climbing to a full goal. Over under is 2.25 right now. Might be trending towards 2.5. My strongest lean in this one is the under 2.25. And I expect it to be under 2.5 by the time this kicks off. West Ham just aren't really an offense that you can trust. Their defense has some problems, but I feel like they are a really big team, which can kind of bother Newcastle a little bit, makes Newcastle less effective on set pieces and corner kicks and things of that nature. And Newcastle in the run of play creating is not their strength. I do think Newcastle will keep a clean sheet. Fluke goal they gave up in the cup, but they ended up getting through the cup final, which was huge. I expect them to win this match. Probably a 1-0, 2-0, something like that. So the 2.5 would be a winner fully in that situation. Only a half win on the 2.25 if you're playing there. Though 1-0 or goalless is, I think, also possible. Wouldn't hurt with getting odds to reduce your percentage needed for a profitable season. Moving to Sunday, Nottingham Forest hosts Leeds, currently a pick'em. A little more juice than Nottingham Forest at home. Over under is 2.5. And I don't trust Leeds to do anything defensively, which unfortunately makes me not really interested in the under either. I don't really trust Nottingham Forest coming off the cup midweek. That was pretty tough. It's going to be a quick turnaround for them, but we'll see what ends up happening. I don't really think I have a lean in this one. Next, we'll move to Tottenham hosting Manchester City. We just saw this match in a replay a couple weeks ago. Tottenham 2-0 lead at half, and then completely choked. Really, really disappointing. But especially as a 1.5 goal underdog, I think they lost by 2. That was brutal. But currently 3/4 goal underdogs here. Over under is 2.75 juice to the over. I lean to Tottenham, but I think I need a full goal of insurance to play, and I don't have that right now. So to recap, the ultimate best bet for the English Premier League, I'm going to go with the Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers, 1/2 goal underdog at home to Liverpool. I just think like Liverpool are a team I want to bet against, and I'm going to keep doing that. Now we'll move to La Liga. We have Athletic Club hosting Cadiz. Currently, Athletic Club, a 1.25 goal underdog. Over under is 2.25. Juice to the over. And I don't expect a lot of goals. This is a Friday match. I don't think there are going to be goals scored in this one. So I think under 2.25 is my strongest lean. And it looks like that might even climb to a half. I just don't really believe Athletic Club to score goals. Feels like fortunate goals from the Williamses because they blow so many opportunities. And there's got to be 3 goals in this game to beat me. And I don't think Cadiz are going to score on the road at San Mamés. In the Catedral. Move to Saturday, Sábado, we have Espanyol hosting Osasuna. Club Atlético Osasuna is a pick'em right now, actually. So Espanyol is got all the juice right now. Wondering if this one's going to climb back to the quarter that it was earlier this week. Espanyol are playing better, but still are not in great shape. Osasuna have been playing a lot better. Deserved a lot more from their match with Atletico Madrid last weekend, but got nothing from it. Disappointing. Not a lot of missed opportunities. Oblak some big saves. I guess I lean to under 2 in that one, but I like Osasuna. I'm hoping that they climb to a 1/4 goal. We don't have that yet. Elche then hosts Villarreal. Currently, Elche, a 3/4 goal underdog at home. Over under is 2.5. Elche's super far adrift, bottom of the league. Villarreal with a really puzzling loss to Rayo Vallecano. I guess not that puzzling because I did bet it, but they've not been scoring goals. I do think that Elche have to get a +1 for me to even consider them. They don't have that here. I do like, I guess, under 2.5 since I'm speaking of it, but it's really just tough to trust the Elche defense. Enzo Rocco is awful. Pedro Diaz is suspended, so Rocco is going to be in there. Elche just look like a team that are going down, and it's tough to want to do anything with those type of matches except bet against them, which I'm not into laying road favorites in any sport. Moving next to Atletico Madrid hosting Getafe. Currently, Atleti, a 1.25 goal favorite. Over under is 2. Pretty big spread for that type of price. And certainly I leaned under in that one just because I don't think that either of these teams are good goal scoring teams. Atleti should win this match. Getafe, at best, I think are hoping for a goalless draw or to get some sort of weird free kick, red card, some type of situation. At 2, I think it's a little too low for me to play. I think I'm waiting to see if it climbs to that 2.25. Next, you have Real Betis hosting Celta de Vigo. Currently, Real Betis, a quarter goal favorite. Over under is 2. Low totals all over the place in Spain, for good reason, though, probably. Real Betis, I think, are better. Had to play midweek against Barcelona, had a tough loss there. Played, I thought, fairly well, but ultimately didn't score enough. Celta, they're in a tough spot. Their manager keeps trying different things. They finally got a win against Athletic Club. Great goal from Iago Aspas. I mean, I feel like if there's ever a kit you need to buy, that's the one. Not sure the colors are great, but I don't think I'm looking to back Celta, I gotta say. So we'll move next to Sunday. Mallorca hosts Real Madrid, the early one, which is a little bit surprising, but I guess with Champions League coming up, Mallorca currently a 3/4 goal underdog at home. Over under is 2.25. I lean to Mallorca, but I want a full goal. I think I'll get that from Real Madrid. Mallorca is also going to try to keep this game as low scoring as possible. I don't know that I feel strongly enough to play both Mallorca and an under 2.25, but helps that I lean both of those ways. Probably Mallorca if that +1 pops. Girona, excuse me. I always forget how to pronounce the G in Spain with Girona. Girona hosts Valencia. Currently, Girona, a quarter goal favorite. Over under is 2.5. And that is so disrespectful for Valencia, for the club they are, but it reflects who they are also. They're probably going to be underdogs a fair amount this year against Girona on the road with a new manager and just a complete lost project ultimately with a cheap owner. And it's tough. I mean, it's big money to pay for these players and what they do, but Valencia just keep selling their players over and over and over again and not replenishing, and then bringing in a manager who was making some progress, and then things got a little stale and he's out the door. Girona is a favorite at home. It seems a little odd to me. I guess I lean to Valencia, but I don't know that they're in a position where I can back them ultimately. Real Sociedad then hosts Real Valladolid. Currently Sociedad, a 1.25 goal favorite. Over under is 2.5. I lean under. I don't really expect Valladolid to do anything offensively in this one, which unfortunately can get a little bit ugly if Real Sociedad get on the board and then get on the board again and then potentially go for the third to kill you. I do think that under 2.5 is nice. I'm honestly, even if it hit 2.25, I think I'm still interested in that because this is not going to have a lot of goals in this matchup. Huge win for Valladolid in their last match. I think they're going on the road and try to keep this as tight as possible. Barcelona then hosts Sevilla. Currently Barca, a 1.5 goal favorite. Over under 2.75. And I'm just not in a position where I want to fade Barcelona at this point. Unless I feel really good about the team they're playing. Sevilla, I do not feel that way. Moving to Monday, Rayo Vallecano, I think the best underdog maybe in this sport right now, hosting Almeria. Currently, Rayo, and over under is 2.5, juice the under. Rayo, a 3/4 goal favorite. Seems a little pricey for them, but they're an awesome underdog. Whenever they're on the road, I want to back them. Not sure that's always been the case, but certainly as a home underdog, they've been great too. Just a good team in general. Antonio Raiola is a great manager. Looking forward to him taking over Athletic Club probably in the next year or so. Almeria have been competitive though, and so I like that side. I want to get +1 if it's available. I'll probably grab it on Monday. A long time until we get there. My juice doesn't look like it'll get there now. For my ultimate best bet, I'm going to go Valladolid under 2.5 on the road at Real Sociedad. I just don't see goals from the visitor. I think they're going to try their best to keep it as tight as possible. Probably make a mistake in the 85th minute, but Sociedad haven't been scoring a lot either. Now I move to Serie A in Italia. We have Cremonese host Lecce off a huge upset in the Coppa Italia, going to, I think, the semis now. Cremonese, a pick'em right now with more juice at home. Over under is 2. I lean to Lecce in that one Saturday morning, but I don't have the quarter of a goal yet. I'm looking forward to that if it shows up. Roma then hosts Empoli. Currently, Roma, a 1 goal favorite. Over under is 2.5. Roma have been really disappointing. They've been preventing goals, which is important. So I lean to under 2.5 if anything in this one. I also guess I like Empoli getting that +1 because that's a really nice safety valve to have. Roma's been defending really well until they played Cremonese, and Cremonese didn't even really put out a big lineup in the Coppa Italia. So that was a wild, unbelievable result almost. I do think Roma will come out pretty inspired and probably a little angry, you could even say. I mean, would you expect a Jose Mourinho side to be angry? I don't know. I think both Empoli and under are actually really tickling my fancy, if you will, at the moment. Next, I'll go Sassuolo and hosting Atalanta. Sassuolo, a big win over Milan, but who's not beating Milan at this point? Last weekend, big win. Sassuolo, half a goal underdog right now at home to Atalanta. Over under is 3. Atalanta coming off a tough Coppa Italia match that they were in, and I thought had better chances, but made one bad mistake defensively, let a center back score from the top of the box. And that was that. And Atalanta are out. Sassuolo, they've sold so many players, so many pieces. They're just not as strong. Loriente is a great player alongside Berardi, but I just don't know how much to expect from them. It's a good spot to have them, though, against Atalanta coming off the Coppa Italia midweek. I think I want more, and I just don't think I trust Sassuolo enough, especially without much of a home field advantage. Next on Sunday, we have Spezia host Napoli. Napoli with a midweek off, surprisingly, after being upset by Cremonese in the Coppa Italia's previous round. Spezia at 1.5 goal underdog at home, over unders 2 3/4. And I don't think I want to get in the way of Napoli, who should be a well-oiled machine in this matchup. And they really make me scared about unders as well. I guess getting a goal and a half at home is gigantic number, though. So that I think I'll put on my list as a potential, just because home dogs, I think the ceiling on home teams is so much higher than the ceiling is on road teams. And I think that matters in these type of matchups, especially when a single goal loss is a winner. That might be really hard to keep off my card, even though it's 5:30 a.m. here on Sunday. Torino then hosts Udinese, coming off a really tough Coppa Italia loss. I thought they played really well. Had a couple big chances, didn't score, and then got screwed on a really bad call. Clear two-handed push in the back, should have been a foul, but gave a goal. Then really bad center back play. Probably Buongiorno, I think he probably doesn't play this weekend based on that. But anyway, Udinese not playing as great right now, but currently a quarter goal underdog, which I really like. They haven't been able to keep up with their pace from earlier in the year, but Torino aren't scoring goals much. They had to play Coppa Italia midweek. I really like the spot for Udinese quite a bit, actually. Over-under is 2 1/4, like under there as well. Fiorentina then hosts Bologna. Fiorentina, a half a goal favorite with all the juice right now almost. Over-under is 2 1/4. And Viola got a good win, and now they play Cremonese, so they basically have a trip to the final. Great for them. Probably a little bit weary legs. They do have a deeper squad, though, so they should be able to handle it. Bologna aren't really scoring, haven't for years now. Not really a team I'm looking to back. I do think that potentially with some tired legs, though, under 2 1/4 might be worth a look, just because the road team isn't really expected to score. Inter Milan then hosts Milan in a big derby. Derby de la Madrid. No, that's Madrid. Anyway, Milan derby. There we go. And in San Siro, should be almost all Inter fans, I guess, because they don't really. I thought they'd split the stadium. That'd be sweet, but they don't. Inter, half a goal favorite, over under 2 3/4. Inter with a big win in Coppa Italia midweek. Certainly some weary legs, but Milan have been playing so poorly, I don't think I can consider backing them ultimately. And moving to Monday, we have 2 matches. Verona hosts Lazio. Currently, Verona a half a goal underdog at home. With all the juice playing a lot better lately, trying to get themselves up the table. Lazio with a tough loss at Juve, but they didn't really play their best team. They did bring on substitutes late, so that probably impacts the legs a little bit. But they're ultimately just a much better class than Verona. I guess, again, a home dog does interest me, though, because they didn't play midweek. Lazio did on the road in Torino, and then now have to go to Verona as well. I mean, that's a tough ask for a team to play an early one on Monday, but I guess they do have that extra day. Lastly, oh no, we have 2 more. We have a Tuesday match again here. Wow. Monza that hosts Sampdoria. This is a Monday match. Currently Monza a half a goal favorite with all the juice right now. Over under is 2 1/4. Monza with a huge win last week against Juve. Did the double over the Bianconeri. Incredible, but can you trust them to respond to that? I think Sampdoria are a pretty big underdog at +1/2 right now. I gotta admit. But do I trust them to score goals? No, and I think Monza do score, so that's hard to do it. Under 2.5 or 2.25, maybe, but I don't even know if I like that enough either. And last but not least, on Tuesday, we have Salernitana 1-goal underdog to Juve. Juventus over under is 2.5 in that one. Salernitana get to catch Juventus off of their biggest competition right now. They care about the Coppa Italia probably more than the league with a 15-point deduction looming. Juventus did play their best players. They haven't had a full lineup in a while. I feel like there's going to be some rotation there. So maybe that +1 doesn't stick around. If it doesn't, I probably skip it. Salernitana have not looked great lately, really since the break. So they're kind of tough to trust. I'll put it that way. I think best bet for Serie A this week, I'm going to go with Udinese getting a quarter of a goal on the road at Torino. I think that they find some of the success they had earlier in the season against a weary Torino team that went all out for a Coppa Italia midweek. Next, we'll go to Germany, and then we got one more with France. We'll go through a 5-star review, give best bets for each country, and then ultimate best bet summary, end of show. Friday, we have today Augsburg hosting Bayer Leverkusen. Currently, Augsburg a half a goal underdog at home, over unders 2.75. I just don't know how I can trust Augsburg at this point. They don't really play competitive football. They try, but they're not very good. They don't have goal scorers. I don't know that their strategy is as new or awesome as it was early in the season. Leverkusen are starting to look good too. Completely outplayed, I would say dominated. Some disagreed on Twitter. Appreciate you sliding my DMs, by the way, or excuse me, my notifications, my notifs. But I do think Leverkusen dominated the game. They lost 2-0 thanks to an own goal and a first goal from Adeyemi. But I think they get right here, go on the road to Augsburg, which is probably going to be a decent atmosphere on a Friday night. The Germans hate that night game. They just want to play every match at 3 p.m. on Saturday, it seems. I don't know. Augsburg just need to prove things that they haven't proved to me in like years, unfortunately. On move to Saturday, Borussia Dortmund hosting S Club Sport Club Freiburg. Currently, Borussia Dortmund a 3/4 goal favorite right now with almost all the juice. Over under is 3, which is pretty high. Freiburg are a really good defensive team that haven't really looked that great since the restart. It's a big test for their defense going to Dortmund. They have the matchup with Nico Schlotterbeck, who left in the transfer window for some undisclosed, probably was disclosed fee, maybe 20 million, 30 million, something like that. I think Dortmund's defense is still really problematic. If I can get a +1 on Freiburg, I'd probably play. I don't know that I want to play unders in any sort of Dortmund match, though, however, and I don't have +1 just yet. Eintracht Frankfurt then hosts Hertha Berlin. Currently, Eintracht a 1.25 goal favorite, over unders 2.75, juice to the over. Eintracht Frankfurt have been awesome, and I don't want to fade them, especially not with a team like Hertha, who is really untrustable, unbackable at this point. And no real lean for the total, because I think it could get really ugly. You might see another 5-0. Köln then hosts RB Leipzig. Currently, Köln a half a goal underdog at home. Over under is 2.75. Leipzig are tough to fade right now. They're playing really well. They are a much better home team than they are on the road, but they're a better team than Köln. Köln's offense just seems to be coming from places you wouldn't expect. The massacre against Werder Bremen was really surprising. I don't think they repeat anything like that. I don't trust them to score. I don't really think, under 2.75 maybe in this one. That's pretty high total. If it hit 3, I'd be, I think, a lot more interested. I don't like the home dog very much, and that impacts the under. Union Berlin then hosts Mainz. Currently, Union a half a goal favorite. Pretty gigantic spread for them. Over under is 2.25. Mainz did play they played as defensive as the lineup they could against Bayern Munchen, but it didn't work out. Tough cup loss midweek, and that does zap their legs. Union got to play at home against Wolfsburg, had a big defensive mistake late that got them a victory. I think I was interested when I thought about this line before I'm looking at it now for the first time. Mainz getting half of a goal seemed interesting to me, just because Union aren't that big of a favorite, but I think they can win this match. Mainz are probably rotating a fair amount from their cup match midweek. Their offensive players hopefully come in, and that makes them a little bit more threatening. And Union ultimately as a favorite, they're not going to want the ball, and that's a really tough spot to be in as a favorite. Bochum then hosts TSG Hoffenheim. Currently, Bochum a pick 'em with almost all the juice on Hoffenheim right now. Over under is 2 3/4. I'm gonna be looking for Bochum to hit a quarter of a goal because they should. I think they're a better team than Hoffenheim right now, despite the huge gap in pay. I'm hoping that one moves to a quarter. I might even play it at pick 'em. Actually, I like it that much. Over under, I don't have a feel for in that one because Bochum seems to score goals and pour it on when they're at home in that little pressure cooker that I tried to get a ticket for and couldn't when I was over there, which is very disappointing. Borussia Mönchengladbach then hosts Schalke in the nightcap. Don't know why Schalke is playing in nightcaps. Whoever did this schedule needs to think about what they're doing. Over under is 3. Borussia Mönchengladbach are just kind of a team, but Schalke are circling the drain. They look like they're in big, big trouble. About to go get relegated for the second time in 3 years. They don't have any goal scoring. They don't really defend very well. I don't really know that Thomas Schreich is really taking as manager there, being appointed midseason, leaving Bochum. Things got better when he left Bochum. Things have gotten worse or stayed as bad when he got to Schalke. Gladbach are not really a trustworthy favorite. It's really tough on this one. And I guess under 3, if anything, that I think is probably, hurting for leans that without movement right now in the Bundesliga. I think that's the strongest one so far. Moving to Sunday, VfB Stuttgart, VfB hosting SV, whatever, Werder Bremen. Stuttgart, half a goal favorite. All the juice on Werder on the road. Over under is 2 3/4. Stuttgart with a huge comeback victory in the Copa or the DFB Pokal midweek. Looked like they were down early and going to lose to a crazy own goal from Mavropanos passing the ball into the net when Mueller was standing on the outside. Just incredible. But I think Stuttgart, they did get a late winner on a header after equalizing. So good for them. They didn't go to extra time, so that was huge. But Werder didn't play. And I like them getting that half of a goal. I think they can go into Stuttgart and win, never mind draw. Last but not least, Wolfsburg hosting Bayern München. Both played in the DFB Pokal midweek, both on the road. Wolfsburg a day before, so maybe a little bit of rest advantage, and they're at home, so that's helpful. I do like Wolfsburg getting that one full goal right now. Over under is 3 1/4. Bayern played pretty well against Mainz. Some very great finishing that you don't really see from them too often. Ever since Lewandowski left anyway. I don't know that it's hard for me to want to keep going against Bayern, but they've covered one of their 4 matches since the break, and this is a tough spot for them to do it, and they have to win by multiple goals. They certainly can do that, but the +1 does feel fairly nice. For my best bet in Germany, I'm going to go with Werder Bremen getting half of a goal. I think that they could probably win that match against Stuttgart, and I wouldn't be too shocked if that would happen. Next, we'll move to France. We have PSG hosting Toulouse on Saturday because they played matches midweek. Don't love that. And it's really hard to watch when they're all playing at the same time. Screw you, beIN Sports. Not even doing a good job being offered in the U.S. We have money. Come here. Anyway, PSG hosts Toulouse, the Ligue champions of last season that have been playing better since the break. Needed that World Cup break, apparently. PSG, 1.5 goal favorite. Over under is 3 1/4. Mbappe is out for this one. That's a big deal. Most important player in soccer, but at the same time, Neymar, who's got a little bit of an ankle supposedly, and Messi's old. That's still incredible 2-headed monster, even if Mbappe is not there. I don't know necessarily that I love Toulouse because they're going to play an open game. They're going to go right at PSG. I do like that kind of strategy rather than sitting back, though I don't really want to give a lot of opportunity or open space. The best part when you play against PSG, you can give them open space if Mbappe's not there because that's their biggest threat. They still have plenty of threats behind him, but the squad does look a little thin. There's been a lot of injuries, so I'm into Toulouse, and fortunately, it's not a Friday match. But Saturday morning in their normal slot as they prepare for Champions League. Moving to the 12 o'clock Eastern time or Central Time window here in the U.S., we have Stade Troyes hosting Olympique Lyonnais. Troyes, a 3/4 goal underdog at home, and it's impossible for me not to lean to Stade Troyes at this point. It feels like I like them every game, but ultimately, any team playing Lyon getting any sort of +1 situation doesn't look like we'll get the full goal here, but at home I think Troyes can win the match. I think they can draw. Lyon, I don't trust them enough at all. They have super high expectations and haven't lived up to them. And they're getting graded, treated like it in the marketplace, like they're a good team. And they're just not. They're in the bottom half of the table in Liga, which is incredible based on who they are as a club. Don't really have a feel for under 2.75. Rennes then hosts Lille. Rennes, a quarter goal favorite at home, over unders 2.5. Rennes have not looked great really since Montpellier went down. They are trying. They brought in Carl Togo Ekambi from Lyon, which is big and kind of a huge win, I think, for them. Lille had to sell all their players basically, but then had a really good start to the season. It hasn't really gone so well lately. I think I lean to Lille, but only getting a quarter is just basically giving home field advantage to the home team, and that's scary thing to go and play in it. You only win half a unit if you play the draw or if you play the quarter and it draws. Moving to Sunday, Clermont Foot hosts Monaco in the early match. Clermont only getting a half of a goal at home. Market has hated them for a while. Over unders 2.75, juice the under. Monaco have been playing really well. They had to survive a late one against whoever they play against Alger midweek, but they did, and they can score goals. I don't know that Clermont Foot can score with Monaco. They've been a really good home team, I feel like, but only getting a half of a goal is probably too low for me, and maybe some sign of respect finally coming for Clermont Foot in the marketplace. A team that was supposed to get relegated last year. It doesn't look like they're getting relegated this year either. Lorient then hosts Angers. Speaking of relegation sides, Angers, bottom of the table. I think they've never won a match maybe in their club's history. That's a joke, but it's been 13 matches, I think now. Lorient, a half a goal favorite, over unders 2.5. And Lorient not getting a lot of respect from the marketplace, but at this point, I just expect it. I think they win this match. I'm not interested in Angers. I guess under 2.5 is somewhat interesting, but I feel like Angers, the dam breaks and then they fall apart. A lot of players probably thinking about their summer plans already with half the season to go. Ajaccio then hosts Nantes. Currently, Ajaccio at Pick'em. A little bit more juice on Nantes on the road. Over under is 2. Not expecting a lot of goals here. I think I backed Nantes last weekend, and it was the first match in Ligue history to not have a shot on target recorded the entire match. Incredible. 0-0. Very, very easy quarter of a goal winner there. Don't see a lot of goals from Ajaccio on the island. Ajaccio play a lot better. Nantes have been really stifling everybody, and I think it's from their great spine and their defense. So lean under 2. Strasbourg then hosts Montpellier. Currently Strasbourg a quarter goal favorite, and that is saying something considering Gamera, I think, is still suspended for being an absolute moron, and just kicking someone as hard as he could because he was frustrated in the match. And it's just one of those things where if they're going to continue to be favored, I have to look the other direction. I'm not sure that I'm really looking to bet against it right now, but that might just be how it goes. Montpellier on the other side don't really defend. They can score goals, but it's hard to trust on the road. I don't know. Feels like a lot of stay away in this one because you got one under team, one over team. And they both, I want to bet against both of them. Auxerre then hosts Reims. Currently Auxerre a quarter goal underdog at home with all the juice on Reims on the road, likely climbing to a half. Everybody loves Will Still, the new manager for Reims, who's not registered, and they're getting fined 22,000 euro or something like that for each match he coaches. Hilarious, but it's working. Over under is 2.25, and 22K seems well spent at this point. I don't think there are a lot of goals in this one, so I think if anything, I lean to the under here. I don't know that that sort of is backing Auxerre to hang around, but I think ultimately it's going to be hard for Reims to score, and I think this new situation of Reims being a road favorite just doesn't make a lot of sense. Though they've been fairly hot lately, and they're playing a relegation team that just newly got promoted last season. Stade Brest then hosts Racing Club de Lens. The blood and gold, the Sangetol Lens didn't have a great midweek, I'll say. Brest played really well. I thought deserved potentially a win at Lyon. Didn't get it, but I love getting 3/4 of a goal at home from a team that's not really in great form. Over unders 2.5, and I've kind of sworn off unders with Lens because they play so aggressively, but I do like Stade Brest getting 3/4 of a goal. Team Pirates, I mean, come on. Marseille then hosts Nice in a big one in the big rivalry, big derby on the Côte d'Azur. Côte d'Or, yeah, the Gold Coast of France. I'd love to be there right now instead of in Dallas. But anyway, Marseille 3/4 goal favorite at Le Stade Velodrome. Over under is 2.5, and that's saying something. Pretty big price for Marseille to give Nice, who look rejuvenated under the new manager. They've always had money and been spending it. I wonder if Terra Moffi makes his debut here for Nice. I'll say they do play really well at home. I'll give them that. They score goals that just don't seem like they even deserve them. They get them. I'm looking for Nice to get to a full goal underdog. I don't think it'll get there, but I'm interested. Over under is 2.5. I guess I lean to under, but because Nice's defense has been a lot better lately, I don't know. It's something that I really trust to continue that way against Marseille. I guess if I don't get that +1, maybe I lean to under instead. For my best bet for France, and then we'll ultimately go through all of them. It's really hard for me to avoid this one. I think I'm going to go Stade Brest, a 3/4 goal underdog at home to Lens. It's not my favorite thing to bet against Lens, but I think this is a bet on Brest just as much as it is a fade of who am I betting against? A fade of Lens. Yeah, sorry, trying to get the TikTok camera ready. Just kidding, not on TikTok. Anyway, just Instagram. And thank you for watching. I guess I'll read a 5-star review and then get into the ultimate best bet portion. This is from Puck's dad. Razor sharp analysis. Warner's descriptive analysis of his recommendations allows the podcast listener to have sound understanding of the rationale behind prediction. Obviously up to the individual to ride along, but I have a clear picture regarding the why. Appreciate that. Please keep the 5-star reviews coming in. I'm trying to get this as big as possible so I can quit my real job, but we'll see when that actually happens. All right, so ultimate best bet time. This is episode number 165 of Betting the Pitch. Thanks to all of you who've been there since day one. I appreciate it. For my best bets for this weekend's soccer slate, I like Wolverhampton Wanderers getting half of a goal in England. I like Valladolid under 2.5 in Spain. Udinese getting a quarter from Torino in Serie A. We got Werder Bremen getting a half of a goal in the Bundesliga. And last but not least, we got Stade Brestois getting 3/4 of a goal from Lens in France. For my ultimate best bet, I hate to do it to you, but ultimately Valladolid under 2.5. I just love what Sociedad have been doing defensively lately. Their goal scoring has not been great. There are a lot of mistakes that happen in Valladolid matches towards the end when they tire, but I don't think that there are going to be 3 of them. And I think it's going to be hard for Sociedad to score. So I'll go under 2.5 goals, Real Valladolid visiting Real Sociedad. And that'll be it for this episode of Betting the Pitch. Thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate everyone, every single last one of you. Please, if you're on YouTube, hit subscribe. If you're on Spotify, leave a 5-star review. If you're on Apple Podcasts, 5-star reviews. Great. Love those. We'll keep reading them until I run out. Would love to not run out, so please send those along. College Hoops has been a little bit treacherous lately, but still putting out content and picks out there every night. And had an okay night last night, I guess, but would like to continue in the vein I was in. Winning 21 out of 25 was pretty great. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Hopefully soccer gets hot again, and I'll see you all on the next podcast, likely early next week. Thanks again, as always, and at me on Twitter, @the_Real_G Warner. Slide some DMs, whatever you'd like. I usually watch the whole match calendar before I check Twitter because there's too many spoilers, but if you need something, slide in there and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I possibly can.